Hello and welcome to more Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. Tonight, the 25th ranked Missouri Tigers visit Fayetteville and the 5th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. Hello everyone, I'm John Roethlisberger, joined once again by Olympian and world champion Alicia Sacramone-Quinn. We are over halfway through the regular season. You can see Arkansas sits in the 5th spot in the country, Missouri in the 25th spot. Arkansas comes off a disappointing win, Alicia, last weekend, but on the flip side, Missouri comes off their best meet of the season.
Missouri had an exciting but close meet against Auburn, and they are going to be making the bus ride to Fayetteville to compete in Barnhill for the first time in 4 years, and they want to build that momentum and the excitement and, confidence they have going and just try to upset Arkansas. But Arkansas is looking to bounce back after a tough loss to Kentucky. They've had back-to-back road meets. They are ready to be back home, and they've had a strange training week, snow day, 2 days off, but they're ready to hopefully get the W tonight.
See, Jordan Weaver, the second-year head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, has done a great job so far, just about a season and a half under her belt. As we look at the Arkansas Razorback vault lineup, Savannah Penisi, sophomore, will get things going for the Razorbacks. They start on vault goal Olympic order. Meanwhile, the visiting Missouri Tigers, they will be starting on the uneven bars as we get a few last coaching tips.
Felicia Hanna is the newest addition to their coaching staff. A former UCLA gymnast, has just been a breath of fresh air for this program. She is their secret weapon on vault, according to Coach Jordan Weaver, and she's been really helping this squad improve their scores.
And here we go.
Yurchenko full to start off for the Razorbacks. Lacked some height, and she landed with her chest down and caused her to take a step forward. The judges really want to see landing up, nice tall body control on that landing.
Now over to the uneven bars with the Missouri Tigers. Jenna Swanson starts things off here. This is a very young squad. We'll talk about that throughout this evening. Are the Missouri Tigers had a bit of a rough season so far. However, they come off a big win against Auburn, their highest score of the season. They're going to have to do that again. Really almost need to be perfect if they want to upset this 5th ranked Arkansas Razorback team at home.
Toe handstand to Shaposh. A little bit of leg separation. Move back to the low bar with the pack salto. One thing we've noticed this season is just the fine-tuning that you typically see by this point isn't really there. You still see some form breaks. Finishes the routine strong with the stick, but it was a little bit loose. It could have been a tighter body routine, so that won't be the highest score, but hey, it's a hit.
Those stuck landings, something that every coach talks about, but we've talked about that with Shannon Welker, the head coach of the Missouri Tigers this season, how important it is for them to stick those landings. Now Abby Johnston, the junior from Parkland, Florida, the second gymnast up for Arkansas. Savannah Penisi, a 9.75 in the leadoff spot.
Full from Abby, does take that step backwards, but she had nice height, good control in the air. Just need to absorb that landing a little better to fight to get that stick.
See Chris Brooks at the end of the mat there. He's one of the assistant coaches for the Razorbacks. An Olympian, the men's team. Helena Huffendijk will be the next gymnast up for Missouri. Jenna Swanson waiting for her score to come in yet. Bar scores seem like they're the slowest to come in of the 4 events at times. Although they don't have a lot of time, they just have one vault to get that score back up. For those of you that were watching Florida, Kentucky, welcome to Fayetteville and Arkansas, Missouri. We are just a routine in for both of these teams, just getting started. Adelina Huffendijk waits for her signal. Jenna Swanson scores in, and it's a career high, 9.85. Great start for the Tigers.
Adelina mounts over the low bar.
Wow.
Blind change to a slight pause, like almost looked like she wasn't going to get it around, but pushed it through. Bail handstand. Blind change full to immediate double back dismount. Tries to stick that landing, does take a small hop, but this is way better landings from this Missouri Tiger squad that we've seen in the past, John.
Just a little slide forward on that double back.
The blind change full to immediate double back. Bonus points for connecting those two skills, helping her get to the 10.0 start value.
Abby Johnston on vault, a 9.825 for her Yurchenko full. And here is Jordan Olszewski, freshman from Birmingham, Alabama, and Mountain Brook Gymnastics.
Big Yurchenko full, just that small hop in the landing. The vaults have been very dynamic. I've seen this program kind of progress on the vaulting front, and I am really pleased with the progress they've made. A lot more height, good control, and nice tight body position in the air.
The golden vault for these collegiate gymnasts is the Yurchenko 1.5. You see quite a few of them from the top teams. Haven't seen one yet from Arkansas, but that is one area that certainly they're going to want to improve if they want to hang with the top teams in the country, the Floridas and the LSUs. That is a margin that they will want to shrink as this season progresses and certainly as the years go by. Alyssa Sharametta gets ready to go, the third gymnast up for the Tigers. Here are your gymnastics rules. 6 gymnasts compete on each event. They count the 5 best scores, so you can drop a mistake or a low score on each event. They add up those 5 remaining scores on each event. Highest score wins. And we mentioned earlier the home team, they start on vault, they go Olympic order, finish on floor. The visiting team starts on bars, which I personally think is a tough place to start and also a tough place to finish. The balance being with all the pressure riding on the end of the meet. Score for Adelina Huffendijk, a 9.75. That is also a career high for her, so great start so far.
Big blind, or Jaeger, sorry, from Alyssa. Free a bail handstand. Blind change. Front 1.5, dismount, small hop on that landing. I always love seeing her dismount on bars because it's not something we see all the time, John. It's so unique, but it is a difficult landing to stick. She got her head all the way around. She was looking for it, and she was trying to fight it, but did have that small movement.
Yeah, she sees it coming from a long ways away, but just a little bit too much rotation. Very clean in the air, though. Fun to watch. Now senior Sarah Schaefer gets her shot. 9.85 for Jordan Olszewski. That is a career high for her on vault.
Sarah Schaefer does a very difficult blind landing vault. Does have that small hop in that landing. I've seen her stick that vault numerous times, but it is very hard because your head comes around last and you need to know exactly where you are in the air to be able to anticipate that landing.
Yeah, she does seem like she has an uncanny ability to stick that vault. We've seen it numerous times. Unfortunately, that was not one of them, but still an impressive performance. Holland Patrick will be the 4th gymnast to go for the Tigers on the uneven bars as we wait for Alyssa Sharametta's score. As Felicia Hano gives Amanda Ellswick, the next vaulter, a few words of encouragement. Join us again next Friday for another doubleheader. First at 7 p.m., second-ranked LSU travels to Lexington to take on the 15th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. Then at 8:30, number 1 Florida hosts number 19 Auburn Tigers. Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network and the ESPN app.
Holland Patrick up on the high bar. Line change to nice straddle Jaeger. Bail handstand. Getting ready for that dismount. Beautiful double layout, and she sticks that landing. That routine was fantastic.
Talk about the young team for the Missouri Tigers. Holland Patrick only competed bars twice as a freshman. And Now she's a regular in the lineup here in her sophomore year. Beautiful finish with that double layout. Sarah Schaefer on vault, by the way, a 9.825. Nice score for her. Now junior Amanda Ellswick from Austin, Texas. She is number 27 in the nation on vault.
Big Yurchenko full. Does have two small little hops on that landing. We've seen her do a more difficult vault, I'm pretty sure, and she definitely has the height and distance for it. Better play it safe after a strange training week.
Absolutely. That is a gigantic Yurchenko full.
So big. Wow.
At the half. We'll talk later.
At the half.
So coming off her first all-around win of her career, freshman Amaya Marshall. So the next gymnast to go on the uneven bar. She follows Holland Patrick's very good performance, stuck double layout as we wait for that score. Shannon Welker talks about this team and the growth that they've had throughout the season and that they're going to have. And he said, look, we just want to be there on the last day of regionals and have a shot to do our best gymnastics. And right now, the way they're trending, it looks like he could possibly make that happen.
Line change, big straddle Jaeger to immediate overshoot for Amaya. Full twisting double tuck, sticks the landing, does have some loose legs in the air, but that was a very high dismount with great control.
I'll tell you what, we've already had 3 career highs in this bar rotation. Holland Patrick puts up a 9.85. Could we have another one here with Amaya Marshall?
I'm not a judge, but I feel like Holland Patrick should have had a higher score. That bar routine was clean. She stuck her dismount, and it was like a textbook double layout. I'm a little bit upset with that score, I'm not gonna lie.
You're not a judge, but you just play one on TV. You can judge, Alicia. Kennedy Hambrick rounds out the vault rotation.
Yurchenko went out, and she sticks it. Yes.
The way the Tigers were going on bars, that's exactly what Arkansas needed, and that follows Amanda Ellswick, 9.875. Alicia, was this perfect? Is it a 10?
Oh, I mean, it was very close. There was like a slight leg separation, maybe some soft knees if I'm being like super analytical, but they are at home. The judges may feel the pressure because we've talked about this before, and it's emotional reaction to throw a 10. But I'm seeing a 9.95 by one judge, so I don't think the 10's coming.
Impressive finish to the vault rotation nonetheless for Kennedy Hambrick. She had a career high last week of a 9.925. We'll see if the judges give her something higher. Now Sienna Schreiber, one of the top all-arounders for the Missouri Tigers, finishes things up here on the bars. It is another career high. Sorry, Alicia, another career high. Amaya Marshall, 9.875.
Double layout, and she almost sticks it, like the step and salute.
We were a little blocked there on the landing. It looks like she didn't quite hold it long enough. Man, what a start to this competition. This looks like it could be a tight one down the stretch if the Tigers can keep this up. This week in the J&A Academy, we talk about the impacts of a pandemic on a young roster. Alicia, we've seen many signs of the pandemic throughout the season. Small crowds, no crowds, air high fives, masks, you name it, we've seen it. But one thing that isn't talked about a lot is the effect of training under this COVID and this pandemic on a young roster versus a veteran roster.
We've spoken with a lot of the coaches, and one thing that they all have echoed is that the preparation for this year has been different. Off-season training didn't happen where athletes are typically learning new skills and upgrades. Preseason was consisting of basically just getting athletes into shape and making sure they're safe to withstand the vigors of competition season, and the number of routines was just lacking. We're going to take a look at a breakdown between upperclassmen and underclassmen of the number of routines in the SEC that were performed. We are going to kind of take LSU and Florida out of the picture They have a stacked roster of elite caliber athletes that can put up routines at any time. But let's take a look at the two teams we have competing here tonight. Has been known to be heavy on the upperclassmen because that veteran leadership is important because they have years of experience under their belt, hundreds of routines, pressure sets, and competitions on their side to give them the confidence to compete with ease. On the flip side, we have Missouri. They have a young squad that did suffer some injuries early on in the season, but now they are trying to get on track. They didn't have that same training, and they are lacking the confidence and seasoned that prestige that those other teams are having, but they are getting to be on the right track.
So it's not an absolute, but you can see how that experience means so much more this season because of that preseason preparation. And when you have freshmen that have never competed collegiately, it can be challenging. Missouri is facing one of those things, but man, so far they are making a lot of progress. Jordan Weaver, you can see her Razorbacks highly ranked nationally, 5th overall as a team, 2 top 5 rankings on beam and floor exercise. Missouri Tigers and Shannon Welker, they have been battling not just injuries, as Alicia mentioned, but also that young team. So they have come a long way, and there's Helen Hu, and she is one of their stars. She got injured before the season started. Unfortunately, she is one of the best in the country on balance beam, and she has gone from being a leader on the floor to being a leader on the side of the floor. Shannon Welker can't say enough about that young lady and the impact she's had on the team. And the first thing she said after the injury was, hey, do I get a 5th year? I want to come back for that 5th year, and she will get it if she wants it. So it'll be interesting to watch the Missouri Tigers in the years to come. They've got a great recruiting class coming in as well. Coming up, the Missouri Tigers, they're going to go to vault. Adelina Huffendijk leads the way there. Meanwhile, Kennedy Hambrick, the top all-arounder for the Arkansas Razorbacks, leads the team to the uneven bars. He told me after one rotation Arkansas was going to get a season-high 49.35 on vault, but Missouri was only going to be a 10th and a half behind. I would have been surprised, but Missouri answered with their own season high on the uneven bars of 49.2, so the difference just 0.15 after one very tight competition. May as well be tied at this point. As we mentioned, Missouri goes to the vault. Sienna Schreiber, you can see her closest to you. That's Shannon Welker giving them some last-minute words of encouragement. Here is your lineup. Sienna Schreiber, their all-arounder. One of their 2 all-arounders will be leading things off. Their other all-arounder, Amaya Marshall. In the middle of that rotation, we'll update you on the all-around standings throughout the competition as well.
Sienna has a pretty dynamic Yurchenko full, and that's why she's in lead-up spot. Can be consistently clean and usually sticks. That's just a small hop backwards on that, but a good way for Missouri to kick off the vault rotation. Nice tight form and nice lines in the air. Just that small hop.
Bailey Lovett wasn't so sure she'd be in the lineup this week. You can see that elbow brace on her left arm. That's been nagging her a little bit. Jordan Weaver wasn't sure if she'd be able to compete the uneven bars in particular, but here she is. Ended up having a good week of practice, and they need her. She's a big part of this team.
Big Hindorf, or Ray, excuse me, on the high bar. Bail handstand. Line change full to immediate double tuck. Small hop on that landing, but a little bit loose to begin the routine off, but brought it home nice and strong. That connection to these 2 skills. Just that small hop backwards, but you can tell she's excited about it.
Oh, and you know she wanted that stuck double back, though. Chris Brooks standing there watching, knowing that that's an easy landing for her, but she gave one away. Now, Sienna Schreiber scored 9.825. That's a season high for her. Now, here we go with Holland Patrick.
Another Yurchenko full. Just the ever so slightest movement of those feet on that landing.
Holland Patrick's only her 3rd vault in her career as a Missouri Tiger.
I do believe that vault is like the secret weapon. If you can have a lineup of all 10.0 start values, that is going to give you a big competitive edge over the other teams.
Absolutely. That's actually the event vault that Coach Shannon Welker is a bit concerned about. That's one of the events they lack the most depth, and you can see some of the inexperience, but Holland Patrick nonetheless doing a good vault in that 2 spot. Now Kiara Johnfania, second up. She follows Bailey Lovett's 9.85.
Big ran the high bar. Unfortunately, was not close enough to actually catch the bar.
So the first big break from either one of these teams. Now remember, as we talked about earlier, you can drop the low score.
Just couldn't reach. When she was going to release for that move, you basically want to bring your feet up almost directly above you in the handstand and then go up and over the bar. She shot her feet too far back. That's what took her away from the bar, and she wasn't able to actually catch.
Unfortunate, but as I mentioned, you can drop the low score. They will absolutely want to drop this missed routine, but the key is the pressure is on the last 4 athletes to go. They have got to hit.
So she repeated the skill again because it goes in connection with that overshoot, and if she didn't have that connection, her routine wouldn't start from a 10.0. Risky move because obviously you could always fall on it again, but good thing for her, she connected it and made it, and we'll have the 10.0 start value.
So good recovery for Kiara, but an unfortunate mistake. But now they're going to have to capitalize the rest of the way. 4 more gymnasts to go. They need to hit in hopes of dropping Johnfania's score. Belle Gatula, the senior from Spring, Texas. The next vaulter.
Gabrielle
Patrick's 9.825 is her career high right before her. Sorry, Alicia.
It's okay. Gabrielle is sticking her Yurchenko full like a boss, but she is actually capable of doing 2 different families of vaults. She has a front handspring pike half that starts from a 10.0, and she also has a Yurchenko full, which she clearly can stick.
Maybe playing it safe, but it paid off.
And now on bars for Arkansas.
What are the judges looking for here on bars, Alicia?
On bars, you make sure you are hitting those handstands, you have nice high dynamic release moves, and of course you want to stick that landing.
Jillian Rutz is the next gymnast to go here. The pressure is on her. Kiara Johnfania's routine had a break, so that's the score they're going to want to drop. Kennedy Hambrick, by the way, in the rotation number 1, a 9.975 on vault, ties a school record on that event.
Nice Tkachev from the high bar. Free hip to bail handstand. Body collapses on the bar. She just needed to be able to push into her hands and through her shoulders a little bit more to be able to withstand that pressure of the release. Double tuck dismount, sticks the landing, does have those form breaks. The judges are going to obviously get her on for those, but finish the routine strong.
This is a pivotal moment in the meet for the Arkansas Razorbacks. They cannot let this get away from them.
That double tuck dismount.
On the other side of the floor, though, can the Missouri Tigers take advantage of some of the Razorback mistakes? Amaya Marshall follows Belle Gatula's 9.9.
Yurchenko full, small hop backwards. This has been a good rotation for them. It's like, yeah, exactly.
They're not giving anything away. They might not be throwing the Yurchenko 1.5 to 10 start values, but what they're doing is very clean, and they're just letting Arkansas have some mistakes and give them some tenths of a point. Certainly erasing that 0.15 lead that the Razorbacks had after 1 rotation. When things are not going perfect, what you want to have up is a veteran, and that is exactly what Sarah Schaefer is. She is that cool, calm leadership that they need right now. Kiara Johnfania's 9.25 is the score that they're hoping to drop. Jillian Rutz puts up a 9.6. That is a low score to have amongst your counting scores, and they will have to count that 9.6.
Sarah Schaefer opens up with a toe handstand to Shaposh to bail handstand. She has beautiful lines as she's swinging bars. Double layout. Oh, she was trying for that stick, just didn't have her legs underneath her. Building momentum before that double layout. Nice, perfectly straight body. Just couldn't hold the stick.
A beautiful routine, though, when they needed it.
On vault, not all vaults are created equal. You would like to have a 10.0 start value. You are looking for amplitude, and yes, the landing is the last thing the judges see and the first thing they remember.
And there's Jenna Swanson with a Yurchenko 1.5, Alicia.
She had nice height. She did have a slight leg separation in the air, but that will still score well for the Tigers. Good distance. Just that small hop.
She follows Amaya Marshall's 9.8. So all scores 9.8 or higher. In fact, the lowest score for Missouri on vault is a 9.8. Kennedy Hambrick will be the next gymnast to go here for the Arkansas Razorbacks. She's been an all-arounder in every competition this season, currently ranked 27th in the country in the all-around. Her high score was that 9.9 that she got last week, and they could use that right here. Sarah Schaefer scores in. It's a 9.85, very good, but Jenna Swanson ups her with a 9.9. That is a career high for Swanson.
Kennedy mounts up to the high bar. Blind change, big pike Jaeger to immediate overshoot. Full twisting double tuck, and she sticks it? Question mark?
I think you just said she sticks it with a question mark at the end. It was one of those turns. Did she hold it long enough? And ironically, that's what Jordan Weaver talked about before this meet. You got to hold those landings a little bit longer. They were giving away half a tenth here and there last week against Kentucky. It cost them at the end of the day, and that was definitely a questionable one. Now the last vaulter, Hannah McCrary, for the Tigers. Again, an incredible vault rotation. This is gravy right here.
Yurchenko full, just too much juice, does have a decent step backwards.
And I don't think that vault it's going to matter for their rotation here. They've got 5 great scores. I feel like they're going to throw away Hannah McCrary's last vault score, and it's still probably going to be a season high for the Missouri Tigers. 2 for 2 in that regard so far in this competition. Big routine coming up here for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Maggie O'Hara, she's number 12 in the country on this event, and this is right in that moment where she needs to deliver. Put up a 9.9 last week, her season high of a 9.95. She follows Kennedy Hambrick's 9.875.
Blind change to Jaeger. Maggie's a fantastic bar worker. Very elegant between the bars, clean form, pointed toes at all times. All she needs to do is stick this dismount. And there's a small hop forward.
But nonetheless, a great finish for Arkansas. They are up against the ropes after a couple of breaks, but they finish strong. But Missouri Tigers, a season high on the vault. It's going to be a close meet after 2.
I'm here with Sarah Schaefer. Sarah, thank you so much for taking the time. You have been part of the Razorback squad before Jordan and her staff took over. Tell me what the new dynamic is like and how it's been going for the team.
I think at first the adjustment was tough because coming from being coached under Mark Cook, who had so much experience in the sport and at Arkansas, and then switching to a new face to a head coaching scene and to Arkansas, it was tough, but also it all paid off. Now everyone is fully adjusted and 100% committed to her philosophy.
So I've been told that you have a different alter ego or character.
Chris Brooks has decided to call me Iris on Beam. I guess it's kind of like this evil kind of villain character that, is not really scared of anything or scared of Beam. So, and then that kind of flipped to Floor. And my name on Floor is Siri, which is just Iris backwards, because my character is kind of supposed to be a queen ninja.
You knew this one was coming. If you had to choose between wearing your leotard every day to class or every date you go on, what are you choosing?
I would probably choose date, because you can just explain your reasoning easier, I feel like, instead of in front of a whole class.
Loving those interviews with Alicia. After 2 rotations, Missouri Tigers, they come back. They've got a razor-thin lead over the host team, the Arkansas Razorbacks. We got to meet people, and it could be an upset. 25 versus number 5. Speaking of Sarah Schaefer, she leads her team to the balance beam next. Meanwhile, Hannah McCrary, the junior, will try to keep this rally going for the Tigers on floor exercise. Inside there is Mark Cook. He was the first coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, spent 17 seasons here. 2 Super Sixes. On the right there of your screen is Val Condos Field. She is the former coach of the UCLA Bruins, won 7 national titles when she led that squad, and now she is, maybe even more importantly, she is Jordan Weaver's mentor. Jordan Weaver coached there for a number of seasons with Val before taking over the head coaching job here at Arkansas. They are both in attendance supporting the hometown team. And speaking of the hometown team, after the second rotation, you can see Missouri leads by .075. Again, that is a virtual tie. Both of the leads from both of these teams after number 1 rotation and number 2 are virtual ties. If this keeps up, it is going to come down to the last routine of the night, and that's how we always love to have it. Let's keep it exciting. But this is the deal breaker right here, right, Alicia? The balance beam. Anything can happen. And in fact, during the break, you even mentioned that. I know we got balance beam to go, but so far this meet, it's exciting.
It is definitely the make or break event, and anything can happen. Even for your most seasoned beam worker, a fall is not out of the cards at any time.
This is Amanda Ellswick. I'm sorry, it's Kiara Gianfania, my bad. Lineup change coming into this competition.
Cat jump. Front toss. Rock solid on that landing. Feet jump straddle 3/4. Or excuse me, half. Round off 1.5 dismount. Kiara bounced back from that mistake on bars and came up to beam and nailed that beam routine.
Kiara recovers from that unfortunate fall from the uneven bars.
Beautiful back handspring layout step out series.
Amaya Marshall.
The freshman Amaya Marshall will lead things here off on the floor exercise for the Tigers. I feel like, Alicia, this is an event they need to maintain that lead, if not extend it a little. They finish on balance beam, as we mentioned, a tough place to finish. You got to think they want to have a bit of a cushion before going to that final rotation.
Definitely get the tense that you can here on floor, because you always want some wiggle room when you go to balance beam.
Here are your all-around standings. You can see Kennedy Hambrick in the lead, but it's very close, a 3-way tie for second after 2 rotations.
Front tuck step out to double pike for Amaya's opening tumbling pass. Switch ring to switch half. Round off 1.5 front pike to stag jump. You see athletes adding jumps in to the end of their tumbling passes. One, because it is bonus points. Two, if you do have a little extra juice, it's a nice way to cover up not having control of that landing. Double tuck last pass. The Tigers are on fire right now.
And they have come a long way since that first meet of the season. They only were able to put up 5 athletes on vault and 5 athletes on floor exercise in that competition. Here they are putting up some of their best performances of the year.
That nice connection pass with the stag jump, racking up some bonus points.
Kiara Gianfani is scoring 9.8. That is a career high for her. Now Bailey Lovett performed a pretty clutch bar routine when they needed it most, and here she goes on balance beam. Alicia's favorite mount.
Gives me a hot flash every time. Jordan said Bailey could be in the beam lineup because she basically has a beam routine where she doesn't use her arm, so it wouldn't be a factor of causing her any discomfort. Switch leap split jump. Front aerial to back layout step out. Aerial back full, and she sticks it.
That's another
I don't know if Bailey can do a routine a whole lot better than that, and judging by the reaction of Jordan Weber in the background, I think she might agree.
That was fantastic. The bonus for the dismount, the aerial to the back full. That routine was great.
Bailey has a season high of a 9.925 on the balance beam. She's ranked number 29 in the nation on that event. That routine looks like it will increase that ranking. Now Sienna Schreiber, the next gymnast to go, she follows Amaya Marshall's 9.775.
Beautiful connection pass to open up for Sienna. She has been a huge impact on this team, stepping up when there was lack of numbers. And for a sophomore, she didn't have a full season last year because of COVID. And she's come in and just been dominant for this Tiger squad.
One thing Shannon Welker said about his team, even through some of the struggles that they've had, they had some close losses, in particular to Alabama. He said their character and their culture never cracked, and I think it has a lot to do with people like Sienna who work hard in the gym and go out and try to perform every week, and it's starting to pay dividends now.
Front Grudy to back layout step out.
She's loving it.
Just crushed it. That was a great routine for her. She only had 2 tumbling passes. When you have bonus points accumulated from leaps, jumps, turns, and connections, you only need 2 passes. You don't need to have 3. That opening pass, or excuse me, that second pass to the layout step out.
And now on beam for Arkansas, Maggie O'Hara.
Maggie O'Hara, the next gymnast to go here on balance beam. Bailey Lovett at 9.875. I kind of thought it might be higher than that, into the 9.9s, but the judges saw it differently. But nonetheless, 2 great scores to start this rotation for Arkansas.
I'm thoroughly confused by that score.
I thought it was guaranteed a 9.9 plus.
I agree. I mean, I'm not criticizing the judges, them as people, but I mean, we might need some words about that routine because I want to see your paper and I want you to explain it to me so I have a better understanding of what's going on.
Don't get on Alicia's bad side. Maggie O'Hara is a transfer from Michigan, but we were told before this competition, Alicia, that we should not refer to her and Abby Johnston, two transfers, as transfers because now they view themselves purely as Arkansas Razorbacks, which I think is awesome and is a testament to the culture and the atmosphere of this team that they have melded in perfectly. And actually, more than that, they are leaders on this team already after just being here for a short time. I think it's pretty cool.
Aerial to back full, and she sticks it. Arkansas knows they gave a little bit away on bars, and they're trying to make up for it on balance beam.
And so far in this rotation, it's only halfway through for the Razorbacks. They are absolutely making it up.
Aerial back handspring acro series.
And now on
The cat jump to aerial back full, just absolutely beautiful.
So 3 for 3 for the Razorbacks. Over on the floor, Sienna Schreiber, a 9.875. That's a season high for her. That actually matches Bailey Lovett's 9.875. She went in the second spot for Arkansas. Now Belle Catula tries to keep things rolling.
Big double pike. Due to COVID, obviously, there are a limited number of fans in the crowd, but there are a bunch of cardboard cutouts. Fans, family members, we're all able to purchase them and have them in every home meet. I think John and I are going to start sending cutouts to competitions.
I don't think they'll let ours in, just a hunch.
Gabrielle knows it's Friday night, John. She's ready for
Friday
that bus
night
ride back to
Yeah.
Missouri.
Friday night dance party.
Closes out with a double tuck. Look, John, Simone Biles and Drake are in the crowd.
I had no idea they were here. Is that Justin Bieber? Great job for Belle Catula. That's 3 for 3 for the Tigers. They're not going away. Arkansas is coming strong on the balance beam, but the Tigers are not flinching. Serena's in the house tonight.
Really stacked roster of cardboard cutouts.
Star-studded. And here's one of the stars of the Razorback team, is Sarah Schaefer. Follows Maggie O'Hara's 9.875. So back-to-back 9.875s for the Razorbacks.
They're open up with a switch leap, straddle quarter. Or should I say Iris? Iris is her beam alter ego, correct? And then floor was Siri. Back handspring, layout step out. Small balance check. Front aerial. Slightest little shoulder drop on that full turn, which the judges may try to knock her for, but may let it slide. It seems like Sarah's just like a little bit ahead of herself this whole beam routine. She just can't seem to get calm and collected and finish the routine the way she knows how.
That's another Arkansas
She had to kind of
Razorback.
regroup there and repeat part of that dismount sequence. Be interesting to see what the judges do with that. Certainly open herself up to some deductions.
There was the repeat, the cat jump, aerial to dismount.
And now,
She repeats it because she needs the connection for the bonus points. I've mentioned that before, but just to reiterate that, yeah, she was just couldn't seem to get like a calm demeanor for the balance beam. It's just something you really need for beam.
Here's freshman Jenna Swanson. Follows Bella Gatula's 9.775, so they are going to count a score below a 9.8, which is not a good sign given the fact that Arkansas has got all 9.8s or higher on balance beam so far. These last 3 routines for Missouri have got to be good ones.
Gabrielle opens up with a huge double pike. Excuse me, not Gabrielle. Jenna. Switch half wolf full. Jenna's second pass. Front double full. Didn't have the most secure landing there, but stayed on her feet. Front layout, front 1.5. Chest lands low on that landing. You could tell she was running out of a little bit of energy getting towards the end of that routine. Manages to finish it out strong, but I don't know if that will keep up to par with the scores Arkansas has been putting up on beam.
Well, they've got 2 more to go on floor exercise. They'll look at that double pike.
Front double full. She didn't get her feet all the way underneath her to finish that rotation for the flip, so she had that little step back.
Sophia Carter, the next gymnast to go here for the Razorbacks. She had a little bit of a rough finish to her competition last week. In fact, the whole Arkansas team, they finished on balance beam against the Kentucky Wildcats, and it did not go as planned. They averaged a 9.75, unfortunately, and gave that meet away in some respects, although Kentucky would argue that they took it, and they certainly did in many ways, but they have recovered nicely here tonight. Sunday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. We'll have 2-hour recap of this year's men's and women's swimming and diving championships. Florida Gators have won the last 8 titles on the men's side, while Tennessee Volunteers are the defending champs on the women's side. That should be a good one. 4 teams for the men and women in the top 10 in the nation for swimming and diving. Impressive in this conference.
That handspring layout step up for accuracy for Sophia Carter. Just a small balance check on that landing.
So updating score, Sarah Schaefer only a 9.55. So the judges did hit her hard for those mistakes near the end of the routine. And now again, Arkansas is in a situation where they can't afford any more mistakes. They absolutely cannot count that 9.55.
To back full dismount. Goes for the stick, does take that step back, but finishes strong. Had that one small balance check, but definitely redeeming herself from last week. Was fighting for that stick, but just didn't hold it long enough.
One more to go for Arkansas on balance beam. 2 more to go here on floor exercise. This is Alyssa Sharametta. Jenna Swanson, 9.725. So now they have 3 scores in the 9.7s. That 9.725 now is the score that they're going to want to drop. 2 to go. They really need to be in the 9.8 pluses.
Front double full for Alyssa in her opening tumbling pass. 1.5 to back layout step out. On floor, the judges are looking for a few things, but mostly they want to see your difficulty, how your routine is composed. It is a mixture of artistry and tumbling, so the judges want to see how well you're performing, and you need to have control on those tumbling passes and those landings. John, the Ninja Turtle! Yes!
There. It's always a good night for Alicia when that skill is performed. Sophia Carter scores in. It's a 9.9. That puts the pressure on the Tigers. They've got to be perfect the rest of the way here on floor exercise.
Alyssa closes out with a back 1.5 front layout step out. There wasn't much from that routine that I think the judges would take away from her, but I have been wrong many times on scores. Nice tight form, control on that landing, and just like a unique pass of that front layout step out. Always nice to see.
I'm trying to finish out this rotation on a positive note is Kennedy Hambrick. Right now they have 4 very good counting scores, all 9.8s ranging up to a 9.9, but looming large is that 9.55 from Sarah Schaefer. What that means is Kennedy Hambrick cannot afford any major breaks. They want to drop that score. If she can put together a big routine, even a 9.9, this will still be a huge beam score for Arkansas.
Kennedy was rock solid on her acro series of a back handspring layout step out. Switch leap, switch half, very difficult leap connection. Nice straddle 3/4. Cartwheel, getting her full off the side. I think that was a stick. I couldn't really see very well.
Nonetheless, they avoid counting a break on this event, and that is huge.
Oh, and just she scoots those feet together. I'm not sure if they will count that as a technical movement of the feet, but you're allowed to move your heels together without getting a deduction.
Nonetheless, great finish for Arkansas on that event. Now Hannah McCrary trying to answer on the floor exercise. They need a big score. She has got a season high of a 9.925. Last time out, it was a 9.875, so certainly capable of getting into that 9.9 range, and I have to say right now, they absolutely need it. They're counting 2 scores of 9.775. They have a 9.875 as we wait for Alyssa Sharametta's score. Alyssa Sharametta, a 9.8.
What? Front layout to front 1.5. Hannah does bounce out of bounds. So that unfortunately will cost her 1/10 at least for the step or bounce, and then another 10th to be completely out of bounds.
And that's unfortunate because you can see Kennedy Hambrick just put up a career high 9.95. So it turns out to be an amazing beam rotation for Arkansas. It looks like the Tigers will be playing catch up on the last rotation.
Not a solid landing on that double pike for Hannah. She still keeps it on her feet, which is great, but the judges will unfortunately get her for that landing as well as the one on her first pass. Not the way they were hoping to close out the floor rotation, but she stayed on her feet, finished strong. but it does look like Missouri's going to have to count some of those 9-7s.
Nonetheless, no major breaks for the Tigers throughout this competition. They will be in range of the Arkansas Razorbacks, but the home team, they are in control. Welcome back to Barnhill Arena. I'm John Roethlisberger alongside Alicia Sacramone-Quinn. We are 3 rotations in this competition, and the home team has taken back the lead. After 1 rotation, the Razorbacks had a slight lead over the Tigers. Then the Tigers took the lead after 2. But after 3, the home team has a .375 lead over the visiting Tigers. What does that mean? As you can see, the rotation by rotation changing the guard, so to speak. Arkansas after 1, then Missouri, now Arkansas. .375, that's a pretty decent lead, Alicia, and it feels like we're in a situation where, hey, it's not insurmountable. Missouri absolutely could win this meet, but I feel like they need to be almost perfect and maybe get a little bit of break here and there from the Razorbacks. Maybe a step out of bounds, a few steps on landings. Your thoughts?
They definitely need Arkansas to give a bit, and they need to be perfect on beam. They can't afford any major mistakes because they need to count the highest score possible. But as you know, John, anything can happen, and we will just have to sit on the edge of our seats and wait this one out.
Belle Gatula will start things off for the Tigers. She is a senior. Just to give you an idea of how these 2 events compare for these teams, the Arkansas Razorbacks, number 5 in the country on floor exercise. They have a season high of a 49.5 on that event. Meanwhile, Missouri on balance beam, they're the 35th ranked team on balance beam with a high score of a 49.25. So probably some things are going to happen here that haven't happened this season for these 2 teams. But this is gymnastics, and we have seen crazy things happen, and certainly that's what the Tigers are hoping for right now.
Okay, we had a nice 3 acro series. Had a slight shoulder drop on that layout step out. Straddle jump, straddle half. Cartwheel gainer full off the side, sticks the landing.
Fantastic start for the Tigers. 1 under your belt. Every routine builds confidence, especially at balance beam.
Another look at that dismount. Nails that landing. Really shows off the fact that she has control of that stick.
Abby Johnston will lead things off on the floor exercise. A Parkland, Florida native, comes out of American Twisters Gymnastics. Arkansas had a season high on the balance beam. Even with some of those mistakes from Sarah Schaefer in that 9.55, they were able to drop and put up a season high 49.4. Both teams have 2 events so far in this competition where they have put up season highs.
Abby opens up with a nice double tuck. Whip half, front full. Beautiful lead connection, full 180 split. Double pike and crushes it.
Abby Johnston for Arkansas.
The excitement of her teammates is what makes me the most happy. I think it's so great how supportive they are of one another. And look at everyone just so jazzed.
Both these teams come out swinging in this 4th and final rotation. Great routines from the leadoffs, Belle Gatula and Abby Johnston. Now Sydney Schaefer will be the next gymnast to go up for Missouri on balance beam. Pressure is on her, an Andover, Kansas native. Belle Gatula's leadoff score was a 9.9. Missouri not going quietly.
3 accuracies by handspring layout, step up, beautifully done. Front aerial. Switch leap, split jump. Tiny balance check. Dismount, round up 1.5, small hop in that landing. Missouri is not going down without a fight.
It's time to get on your feet, Razorback fans. Make some noise.
Nice 1.5. Pulls that chin up just a little bit early to try to find that landing. Which probably cost her a little hop.
Now sophomore Madison Hickey takes the floor. She follows Abby Johnston's another career high score, 9.875 for her. So if you're looking at routine for routine, the leadoff for Missouri got a 9.9. The leadoff for Arkansas at 9.875. So they give up a quarter of a tenth so far in this rotation. Got to chip away at that if you're the Missouri Tigers.
Opens up with a big double pike. Looks like she got close to the edge of the floor, but we didn't have the greatest angle to tell. But I didn't see any judges' hands go up to notify out of bounds. Round off 1.5 front layout. A little bit unsure of herself on that landing, but covers it up well. Double tuck. Ooh, that foot was on the line, but she keeps it in.
Madison Hickey for Arkansas.
And a lot of power in this last tumbling pass.
For Hannah McCrary, but when the team needed it most with all the pressure on the line, she answers big time. A huge bounce beat routine. Sarah Schaefer about to do floor exercises. We see the all-around standings. Her teammate Kennedy Hambrick, a fairly comfortable lead, a .25 lead is a pretty decent lead in the all-around. Sienna Schreiber, Maya Marshall right behind her. Sarah Schaefer, unfortunately, with those errors on balance beam, took herself pretty much out of the all-around running, unless all those athletes in front of her have some mistakes, and she is about perfect here. But I guarantee you, for this senior, the team competition is all that matters.
Sarah opens up with a big double pike.
Madison Hickey right before Sarah Schaefer puts up a 9.9. That is a career high for her as well.
Round off 1.5 front lay. Straddle full. Last tumbling pass for Sarah Schaefer. Double tuck. And she crushes it. Makes up for the few mistakes she had on other events and brings it home strong.
Got to be pleased with that. And they needed it too. Hannah McCrary, a 9.85 over on balance beam. That's a career high for her.
That beautiful double pike.
Everybody's getting career highs tonight, Alicia. You get a career high, I get a career high. Handing them out.
We're Oprahing it all over this for career highs.
Amaya Marshall now mounts the balance beam, and she is going to have to probably put up a career high score for her as well, because Arkansas is having an outstanding full rotation. And don't forget, not only are they trying to keep pace, they need to chip away at that .375 lead that Arkansas had heading into this rotation, and so far they're not doing it.
That front aerial, back handspring. Drops that shoulder and is unsure of herself at the end of that full turn.
Sarah Schaefer, a 9.9. Arkansas just extends that lead a little bit halfway through this rotation.
Maya finishes with a round off 1.5 dismount. Small step on that landing. Even though they're not chipping away and getting closer to, upsetting Arkansas, this has been a fantastic competition for the Tigers. They have definitely improved their confidence, their consistency, and this is exactly what Coach Shannon Welker has wanted to see.
No doubt about it, and obviously we're focusing on who's going to win this meet, but I promise you, Shannon Welker, if they can keep this up, he is going to leave this gym with a smile on his face, because they're going to blow away their season high total so far. Now, you want to see a fun floor routine, check this out from Bailey Lovett. Sky high opening pass.
Big double layout. Maybe that snow day really benefited Bailey because she was having some nagging elbow pain, but she seems to be doing fantastic tonight. Front layout, front full. routine for Bailey Lovett. Her teammates there to immediately give her a mask because they are very good about their COVID protocols. Much respect to them for that. But look at that double layout, John. That was sky high and textbook of what judges want to see on that tumbling pass.
I should have had more elbow injuries. That's what I can take away from that floor routine and her performance tonight. Unbelievable from Bailey Lovett. Now back over to beam, Alyssa Sharametta. Last week a 9.95 on this event. She needs to get that. I'm just going to put it out there right now. Maya Marshall does get a very good 9.8. That is a season high for her, career high actually for her. But man, when Arkansas is putting up 9.9 plus routine after routine, it is hard to catch them.
Back handspring layout, step out.
Bailey Lovett matches her career best 9.95. Really panning out to be an incredible finish for the Razorbacks, but honestly, so is it for the Tigers, both of these teams.
For Ariel. Front toss. Solid on that landing. Full turn. Gainer back pike off the end, and she sticks the dismount.
I mean, this competition has been fantastic. One major break, one fall from the apparatus from both of these teams. Missouri's basically been perfect.
They are giving Razorbacks a run for their money. They may be like a scoring discrepancy out far out there, but they are not letting them take away their flow, and that's amazing.
Kennedy Hambrook needs a 9.775 or better on this floor routine to clinch the all-around title. And I'll just bring in my elementary math. I'm guessing about that, maybe slightly higher, will clinch the team score for Arkansas as well.
Kennedy opens up with a gigantic double back.
There's 8 scores that are in so far in this rotation. Of those 8, 5 of them are career high scores for the Tigers and the Razorbacks. Incredible finish to this competition. Can just stay on her feet on this last pass. She's going to win the all-around, and a 9.525 or better will win it for Arkansas.
Double pike. I think it's safe to say she clinched the all-around.
For Arkansas.
What a performance from the home team. It wasn't perfect throughout, but I tell you what, when the pressure was on, they had some mistakes. They came back, and that is what great teams do. This Razorback team is going to be something to watch, not just for the Missouri Tigers. With that routine, Sienna Schreiber, if she can score higher than a 9-8, they will drop a Maya Marshall's 9-8 and count all scores higher than that. That is incredible for this team. They're going to beat that 49.25 season high on beam. Now back over to floor exercise. Sophia Carter gets to just go out and perform because the team championship is locked up. Kennedy Hambrick puts up a, wait for it, career high 9.95 for her routine.
Sophia opens up with a double top.
Sophia Carter's got the 9.95. That's her career high. She scored it 7 times on this event. Could this possibly be her first 10-0?
Round off 1.5, front full. Switch half, split full. Last tumbling pass. Double pike. Does take that step forward on her landing. Unfortunately, John, she won't get her 10 tonight, but that was a great way to close out this competition for the Razorbacks.
What a finish to this competition. Sienna Schreiber, a 9.95 to finish out the beam rotation. You know it. I don't even need to say it. That was a career high, too. Sophia Carter enjoying her last performance in Arkansas, thrilled with the win tonight. Great one here in Fayetteville. The home team gets the win. The number 5 ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. It was a little bit of a comfortable margin, a half a point, 0.5 tenths for the win, but Alicia, it seemed a lot closer than that. But Arkansas gets a program record, 197.35, and for the Missouri Tigers, a great performance tonight. By far their highest score of the season, a 196.85. They obliterate their previous season high, which was last week, by almost a point. So congratulations to both of these teams. And one young lady in particular, Hambrick, she gets the all-around win, and that is also a school record for Kennedy Hambrick and the Arkansas Razorbacks of a 39.75, Alicia.
Kennedy Hambrick is like a fine wine. She is just getting better with her age. She is in her junior year, and she has just found her flow. She has been putting up fantastic performances week in and week out, and this one tonight was just another one. A fantastic showing, closed it out strong for the Razorbacks, and she will be a contender for one of the top all-arounders in the NCAA for nationals.
And that score of a 39.75 is actually the second highest all-around score in the country this year, only behind Trinity Thomas, who was almost perfect last week when she put up a 39.9. I frankly saw her perform and thought it was a 40. But Kennedy Hambrick, what a performance for her and for the Arkansas Razorbacks. But you don't want to short shrift the Missouri Tigers, Alicia. They came in and they did exactly what Shannon Welker wanted. They came in and they hit.
They were definitely building off the momentum they had last week on that win. Yes, they didn't get the win here tonight, but they looked like a different team. They were confident, they were consistent. They didn't really give anything away to the judges, and that's what a team, and that's kind of in a rebuilding phase like they are, working through some injuries and a young team. This is the type of performance they needed tonight to help build their confidence.
There's 2 more meets left in the regular season here in the SEC for the Missouri Tigers. They get Georgia next weekend, the Georgia Bulldogs. Arkansas, they get Alabama at home next weekend, so a formidable matchup there. That'll be a fun one to watch. As you can see, program record for the Arkansas Razorbacks, 197.35. Alicia, what can Jordan Weber as head coach do? She's already set a program record for score. Everything's trending in the right direction. What is the limit for this young lady? And really what the question is, how long until she contends for a national title?
I think they could be definitely in contention in the next few years. Even if this year, if everything pans out, Florida is a force to be reckoned with, so that's going to be hard to overcome. Same with LSU, but this team has potential, and there's like a swagger and movement and just fire around this team. It has a young staff. The team is bought into the culture, and they're definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Be a lot of fun to watch, as will the Missouri Tigers. They have got a top 5 recruiting class coming in next year. Helen Hu will get healthy, and that will be a team that might surprise a few in the country. It'll be fun to watch the Missouri Tigers in the years to come as well. But it's the Arkansas Razorbacks tonight. They get the win, 197-3-5 over the Missouri Tigers, 196.85. It was a great one here in Fayetteville. Thanks for joining us. For Alicia Sacramone Quinn, I am John Roethlisberger. Thanks for watching Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. So long from Fayetteville, and congratulations to the home team, the Arkansas Razorbacks.